There are places where time does not move. They exist between moments, between one heartbeat and the next, where history has stopped to breathe. Most people pass them without ever knowing, but they are there, the seconds that refused to end. We call this place the Dream Vault. It is not a dream, though it feels like one. It is not memory, though it's built from them. We will take you there under one condition: that time is left exactly as we found it. Even the smallest change can echo without end. This is the contract between us, between the waking world and the one held still. If you accept, then take a deep breath.
The pillow softens beneath your cheek. The weave of the cotton loosens, thread by thread, until the fabric is no longer fabric at all, but something finer, dry, brittle, pressing into your skin in 1,000 tiny points. Pine needles. Your face is against pine needles, and the bed is gone. Gravity tilts. The mattress slopes and hardens into uneven ground. Volcanic soil, cold against your palms, porous and ancient. The warmth of your bedroom drains out through the floor, replaced by mountain air, thin and sharp, the bite of high altitude in November. 37 degrees. Your breath should fog, but does not. Something is wrong with the air. The ceiling lifts away. It does not dissolve, it simply ceases, replaced by a canopy of ponderosa pine 80 feet above. The needles black against a sky that is not quite dark. Deep blue in the east. A strip of orange at the western edge where the sun has already set behind a long escarpment. Stars are appearing one by one in the space between the branches. You move. They do not. Time is held here, caught between 1 second and the next, and everything inside it waits. You may touch what you find. You may pick things up, open drawers, press your hands against surfaces, but nothing changes. Nothing moves except you. Walk through walls if you need to. The moment will wait for you to understand it. November 5th, 1975, 6:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Turkey Springs, Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest, Arizona. Elevation 7,346 feet. A disc-shaped craft hangs above a forest clearing. Below it, a column of blue-green light connects the craft's underside to a man 2 feet off the ground. His arms are flung outward. His back is arched. His hard hat is mid-fall behind him. 30 yards east, a truck idles with 6 men inside. One has his hand on the ignition key. He is about to turn it. He is about to drive away from his best friend. Travis Walton will be gone for 5 days. When he returns, he will believe only a few hours have passed. No one will believe him. He is 22 years old. This is the last ordinary night of his life. The investigation begins. Step onto the clearing floor. Pine needles crunch under your weight, the only sound in this forest. Volcanic soil sits beneath the needles, red-brown and porous, the remnant of lava flows that built the whole Mogollon Rim. The air is dry, cold, the kind of cold that lives above 7,000 feet in November. Every pine needle on the ground lies flat and still, not a single one disturbed by wind. The forest floor looks painted. Press your palm against the soil, cold everywhere. except toward the center of the clearing. In that direction, warmth, radiant heat from something above. A fresh-cut stump sits at the clearing's edge, crouched beside it, white heartwood exposed, sap still wet on the cut face, chainsaw marks leaving parallel grooves in the wood. Someone cut this today. Branches lie piled in windrows, the thinning work of a 7-man crew on a federal contract. Pick up a branch from the pile. Pine sap sticks to your fingers. The resin smells sharp and clean. Stand still. Listen. Nothing. At 6:15 p.m. in November, there should be Stella's jays calling, pygmy nuthatches settling into roosts in the ponderosa bark. There are none. No wind moves the crowns 80 feet above. Every needle is fixed. No crickets despite the season. The silence is not the silence of frozen time. It is the silence of animals that have already fled. The forest cleared itself before the craft arrived. Walk toward the center of the clearing. The warmth increases with every step. 20 yards to the center. The amber glow from above intensifies. Pine needles underfoot give way to bare soil, blackened, scorched in a perfect circle. Step to the edge of the beam. A column of blue-green light, 3 feet across, connects the underside of the craft to Travis Walton's body. The light has edges, not diffuse, not fading at the margins. Sharp. A wall of light with empty air on either side. Reach your hand towards the column. The air at the boundary tingles. Static electricity sharp enough to sting. Inside the beam, pine needles and small debris hang at various heights, caught mid-scatter from the point of impact on the ground. Some spinning in arrested arcs, some perfectly still. Each stopped at whatever angle it held when the beam fired. The ground beneath the column is a circle of scorched earth, 3 feet across, pine needles blackened and curled. Press your palm against the scorched soil, warm, almost hot. The heat comes from above. The color of the light is unlike any artificial source from 1975. Not neon, not fluorescent. Blue-green, vivid, as if the air itself has been lit from the inside. The beam casts no shadow. Objects inside it, pine needles, dust particles, Travis, are lit from every direction at once. What is this light made of? Hold your hand 6 inches from the beam's edge. The hair on your arm stands straight. Ozone, sharp, metallic, the smell of a lightning strike concentrated into a 3-foot column. The beam is ionizing the air around it. Between suspended pine needles inside the column, sparks have caught mid-arc, frozen blue-white threads of discharge, each one a perfect geometric line between 2 needles, as still as wire. Silent. The temperature at the beam's edge is warmer than the surrounding forest by 20 degrees. Kneel beside the base of the column. Where the beam meets the ground, the scorch mark is razor sharp. Green pine needles on one side, blackened ash on the other. No gradient between them. Step back from the beam. Look up. The Mogollon Rim had been a recurring site for unidentified aerial phenomena since the early 1950s. Military pilots from nearby bases reported lights that tracked their aircraft, held position against wind, and accelerated beyond any known technology. Ranchers described orange spheres hovering above cattle pastures that vanished without sound. The Heber area alone produced 3 formal reports to the Air Force's Project Blue Book between 1952 and 1969, all classified as unidentified and closed without resolution. None of these accounts prepared anyone for physical contact. Lights in the sky were one category of experience. A beam of light lifting a man off the ground in front of 6 witnesses was something entirely different. 2 weeks before this night, NBC had aired The UFO Incident, a dramatization of the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. The crew may have seen it. Whether that made them more likely to interpret what they witnessed as an abduction, or simply gave them a vocabulary for something that had no vocabulary, was a question that would follow all 7 men for the rest of their lives. Look up. The craft fills the sky above the clearing, 20 feet across, as wide as a 2-car garage. Crane your neck and study the underside. Disc-shaped, 2 shallow bowls placed rim to rim, Travis's own description. The edges taper to 2 inches, thin as a blade. The hull has no seams, no rivets, no bolts, no weld lines. It looks formed from a single piece of material. Reach up. The detail is visible at 15 feet. The surface generates light. Amber gold, steady. The hull itself glows, and the warmth on your upturned face is radiant, like standing near a wood stove with no combustion smell. Walk directly beneath the craft. The beam stands 10 feet to your left. The underside above you is featureless. No aperture, no lens, no hatch, no mechanism. The beam emerges from the hull surface, as if the metal itself produces the light. Press your palm upward toward the hull. You cannot reach it, but the air beneath is warm, dry, tingling with static. The craft produces no exhaust, no heat shimmer above it, no jet wash, no visible propulsion of any kind. It hangs in the air as if gravity does not apply, or as if it has found something else to push against. Close your eyes. The hum is not in your ears. It is in your sternum, your jaw, your eye sockets, subsonic. Below the threshold of human hearing, but the body registers it. A vibration that resonates in bone. The frequency is steady. No variation, no pulsing, no rhythm. A single sustained tone. Press your fingers to your chest. The hum lives in your ribcage. This is the sound that silenced the forest. Every animal within half a mile felt this vibration and left. Before the beam fired, the craft produced a beeping sound that the crew heard from the truck. The beeping has stopped. Only the hum remains. Walk to the clearing's edge where the craft's rim extends past the trees. Study the profile. The rim tapers to 2 inches, thin at the edge, thickening toward the center. The transition from top dome to bottom dome is seamless. No joining line, no gasket, no hinge. The amber gold glow is strongest at the center and faintest at the rim, the edges darker, almost transparent. Run your eyes along the full circumference. No navigation lights, no windows, no markings, no identification of any kind. The trees beneath the rim are untouched. No broken branches, no heat damage to the canopy above. The craft displaces nothing. How long has this been here? Walk to the truck. A 1965 International Harvester, crew cab, blue paint faded, rust along the wheel wells. The engine is running. You can feel the vibration through the body panels. Exhaust hangs behind the tailpipe, a grey cloud caught mid-drift in the still air. Headlights cut 2 cones of yellow into the dusk, illuminating pine trunks, casting long shadows away from the clearing. Touch the hood. Warm from the engine, the metal trembling with the idle. Chainsaws lie in the truck bed, 3 of them. Homelight and McCulloch. bar oil staining the bedliner, a thermos wedged behind the spare tire, work gloves, a hard hat that is not Travis's. He was wearing his when he jumped out. Open the driver's door. Mike Rogers sits behind the wheel. His right hand is on the ignition key, fingers wrapped around it, about to turn. His left hand grips the wheel at 10 o'clock. Look at his face. This is the expression of a man deciding to leave his best friend. Rogers is 28, crew boss. He won the Turkey Springs contract. Travis Walton is his best friend. They have worked logging together for years. His jaw is clenched. The tendons in his neck stand taut. He is not looking at Travis. He is looking at the road ahead, at the escape route. In 0.2 of a second, he will turn the key, the truck will lurch, and he will drive a 1/4 mile before stopping. His boot is on the accelerator, not the brake. He has already decided. Move to the passenger side. Ken Peterson sits in the middle of the front seat. He is rigid, every muscle locked. His gaze goes straight through the glass, locked on the beam and the figure inside it. His mouth is slightly open. He will later say he saw a bluish light come from the machine, and Travis went flying, like he touched a live wire. Check his hands. They grip his own thighs, knuckles white, fingernails pressing through denim. Peterson was the first to spot the glow through the trees. He is the most composed man in this truck, terrified but observing, cataloguing, remembering. Climb into the rear of the cab. Alan Dallas is on the far right, mid-lunge for the door handle. His body is half-turned, one hand reaching for the handle, the other bracing against the seat back. His mouth is wide open. He was screaming. The sound sits in his throat, caught. Dallas has a temper. Tensions with the crew are real. But right now, he is the most physically reactive person in this truck. Every instinct says run. His eyes are not on Travis. They are on the craft. He is looking at the source, not the effect. Steve Pierce sits in the middle of the rear seat. He is 17 years old, crouched beside him. His hands cover his face. His fingers are spread just enough to see through. The gesture of a teenager watching something he cannot process. He will later say the ray was the brightest thing he'd ever seen in his whole life. His work boots are untied. He was already loosening them for the drive home. Pull his jacket collar aside. A snowflake high school keychain clipped to the zipper. He is 17, in a truck, in a forest, watching his co-worker float in a column of light. The two remaining men in the rear seat. John Goulet in the middle, Dwayne Smith on the far left. Goulet's posture is rigid. He leans away from the windows, toward the center of the truck, making himself small. His face is blank, not terror, not composure, shock. The expression of a mind that has not caught up with what the eyes report. Touch Goulet's sleeve. Denim, stiff with sawdust, the fabric of an ordinary workday. Dwayne Smith is pressed against the left rear door, as far from the clearing as geometry allows. His hand rests on the door handle, but does not pull. He is caught between fleeing and staying. The door is his escape, but the forest outside may be worse. Examine the dashboard. Cracked vinyl, pine dust on every surface, the heater running. A newspaper lies folded on the seat between Rogers and Peterson. The radio is on, but the volume is barely there. Country music from a Heber station, the signal weak this deep in the forest. Pick up the newspaper. The date, November 5th, 1975. On the floor, work gloves, a crushed soda can, a receipt from a gas station in Heber. The cab smells of 7 men after a day's labour. Sweat, pine sap, diesel, the heater burning dust off the vents. The ordinary smell of honest work. Climb out of the truck. Walk back toward the beam. Mike Rogers had won the Turkey Springs contract the previous year at a price that required aggressive timelines and minimum crew costs. By October 1975, the 277-acre job was badly behind schedule. A Forestry Service inspector visited on October 16th and filed a report concluding the work could not be completed by the November 10th deadline. Rogers faced financial penalty. The contract included provisions for non-completion that would have wiped his profit and potentially left him owing money. On October 20th, Rogers wrote to the Forestry Service, requesting another extension. That same night, NBC aired the UFO incident to an audience of millions. Skeptics, most notably aviation journalist Philip Klass, would later argue that a fabricated abduction could provide a convenient clause to void the contract penalty. Rogers and Walton sold their story to the National Enquirer, which awarded them $5,000 in its annual Best UFO Case Prize. The financial motive was real. The timing of the television movie was suggestive. But 6 men agreed to polygraph examinations, and all 6 passed. Step into the beam. The tingling is immediate, static on every exposed surface of skin. Travis hangs 2 feet off the ground. His logging boots dangle in open air, the soles 6 inches from pine needles that were under his feet a moment ago. Arms flung outward, fingers splayed, every muscle contracted, the posture of massive electrical shock. Grip the toe of his boot. The rubber is warm, pine needle fragments stuck to the sole. Volcanic soil in the treads. His legs are not dangling. They are rigid, locked in extension. Whatever hit him contracted every muscle at once. He weighs 154 pounds. He is floating. The beam is holding him, and Earth's gravity is not winning. Look at his face. Step around to see him from the front. Eyes wide open, the pupils blown, enormous in the blue-green light. Not focused on anything. The eyes of reflex, not attention. His mouth is open, but the scream has not formed. The sound is in his diaphragm, contracting, but has not reached his throat. The expression is not terror. It is surprise. The terror has not arrived. This is the face of a man who stepped back 2 paces, and then the world turned blue. Touch his cheek, warm skin, 5 o'clock shadow. A small cut from shaving this morning. He is 22, from Snowflake, Arizona, a high school dropout, a logger. This is the face that will appear in newspapers and on television for the rest of his life. His denim jacket is pulled upward, the force from the beam lifting the fabric away from his body. Flannel shirt beneath, red and black check, sleeves rolled to the forearms. Pull the jacket pocket open. A wallet, worn leather, a few dollars inside, an Arizona driver's license. The license reads Travis Walton, date of birth February 10th, 1953. Address in Snowflake. Brown hair, hazel eyes, 6 feet, 154 pounds. His work jeans have sawdust in the cuffs, a small tear at the left knee. Pine sap stains on both thighs. His belt buckle is scratched from chainsaws leaning against his hip. Check his other pockets. A few coins, a pocket knife, a folded receipt. Behind Travis, his hard hat is mid-fall, 2 feet from where his head was, tumbling slowly, brim first. The hat is white, standard logging issue, scratched and dented from months of work in dense forest. Catch it. Read the name written in marker on the inside brim. Walton. Blocky letters. Pine resin on the crown where low branches scraped it throughout the day. The hat leaving his head means the beam did not just lift him. It struck him with enough force to knock the hat off. The hat was not pulled. It was knocked. This is the last object that was touching Travis before the beam. In a moment, it will land in pine needles and stay there for 5 days. The search parties will not find it. His chest. Where the beam enters his body, the flannel shirt is pulled tight against his skin. The fabric glows where the beam passes through. Blue-green light visible through the cotton weave. His arms are extended, every tendon visible in his forearms. Not voluntarily extended. Involuntary contraction. Press your hand against his chest gently, through the fabric. His heart is beating. Fast, not dangerously fast, but elevated. Whatever the beam is doing, it has not stopped his heart. His breathing is shallow, rapid, the intercostal muscles between his ribs contracted. He is breathing, but barely. Examine his fingertips. The nails are slightly blue. Reduced circulation. The beam is affecting his blood flow. Travis's inner right arm. Push the denim jacket sleeve up. 2 small marks, fresh. Not insect bites. Puncture marks, needle-like, precise, the skin around them faintly reddened. These marks are not from the beam. These are from the examination that will follow, or has already happened. The marks are consistent with intravenous access. Someone, or something, inserted a needle into this arm. Look at his left arm. Clear. Only the right. When Travis returns in 5 days, witnesses will document these marks. They will be cited as physical evidence of medical examination aboard the craft. The marks tell you the examination room comes next. The table. The beings. These tiny red dots are the only physical trace of what happens inside. Stand between Travis and the truck. 30 yards of pine needles. Look both ways. Behind you, a 22-year-old man floating in a column of light under a craft from somewhere else. In front of you, 6 men in a truck with an engine running, about to drive away from their friend. 30 yards, the distance between the ordinary world and whatever this is. Travis walked this distance at a fast pace. His crewmates shouted for him to come back. He kept walking. In the pine needles between the truck and the beam, Travis's footprints are clear in the volcanic soil. The stride lengthens as he gets closer, not running, but not hesitating. The last 2 footprints before the beam are closer together. He stepped back. 2 paces. He reconsidered. Then, the beam hit. Why did he walk toward it? Metallic ozone fades on your tongue. In its place, cold water, the ghost of something you drank hours ago. Your inner ear tilts. The ground rotates beneath your feet as if the clearing is a disc and someone has spun it. Time moves backward. 5 minutes. The beam retracts upward into the craft's hull. Travis lowers to the ground, his arms pulling inward, his hard hat rising from the pine needles back to his head. The craft's glow dims. The truck reverses along the forest road, bouncing backward over ruts, headlights sweeping through the pines in reverse. Trees slide past the windows. The hum fades. Sound returns. A bird calling, wind in the canopy, a distant engine straining over a rough road. The world fills back in. Chainsaw exhaust. Country music from a radio with the volume down. The warmth of 7 bodies in a truck cab, windows fogging at the edges. The truck bounces along a dirt road. 7 men inside. The sun has just set behind the Mogollon rim. Through the trees to the right, a glow. Amber gold. Steady. Ken Peterson's head is turning. His mouth is opening. The moment locks. Step into the cut zone. Stumps everywhere. Some fresh today. The heartwood still white. Some weeks old with bark curling off the edges. The air smells of 2-stroke exhaust and cut pine. Chainsaw work. The scent that defines their livelihood. Fresh sawdust covers the ground in pale yellow drifts against red volcanic soil. Crouch beside a stump and count the rings. 60, 70. Years of growth taken in 2 minutes by a chainsaw. The thinning pattern is strategic. Every 3rd tree removed. Opening the canopy to prevent wildfire. Letting light reach the forest floor. Federal contract work. The government pays, the crew cuts, the forest gets managed. Ordinary work for ordinary men. Climb onto the truck's bumper and lean into the bed. 3 chainsaws lie on their sides, 2 homelights and a McCulloch. Bar guards on, chains oily. Pick up the nearest. A Homelight Super XL may be 15 pounds. The bar is 20 inches long. The chain freshly sharpened this morning. The handle is worn smooth, where a left hand has gripped it through thousands of cuts. Bar oil pools under the saws, staining the truck bed. The sweet petroleum smell mixes with pine sap. A sharpening file and a spark plug wrench sit in a canvas roll beside the saws. Field maintenance tools. These men keep their own equipment running. Under a massive ponderosa, a flat-topped boulder serves as a table. Wax paper from sandwiches. A crushed Coca-Cola can, crumbs. Walk to the boulder. The surface is scratched with initials. Not this crew's, but generations of loggers who sat here before them. A thermos cap left behind, coffee staining the aluminum. Someone forgot it. Boot prints overlap in the soft soil around the rock. 7 distinct treads. These men eat together every day. Pick up the Coca-Cola can. Steve Pierce's, the 17-year-old, the one who drinks soda instead of coffee. The ordinary evidence of working men at lunch. Nothing remarkable. Nothing worth noting. Except, this is the last lunch they will share as 7 men with unremarkable lives. A clipboard on the truck's front seat. Open the door and pick it up. The top sheet, a progress report. Acreage completed versus acreage remaining. The numbers do not add up to November 10th. Below it, a carbon copy on yellow paper, the Forestry Service Inspector's report from October 16th. The conclusion is blunt. Turn to the next page. Rogers's letter requesting an extension, dated October 20th, typed on his home typewriter. The letter is polite, professional, and desperate. Rogers needs the contract. The crew needs the work. Snowflake does not have a surplus of employment. Walk to the edge of the worksite where the road begins. The dirt track narrows from the cut zone into a single-lane forest road. Ruts from months of the truck bouncing in and out. Beyond the ruts, uncut forest, dense and dark. Stand at the boundary. Behind you, stumps, sawdust, the truck loading up. Ahead, uncut ponderosa, dense, darkening. The boundary is sharp. Managed forest on one side, wilderness on the other. A line drawn by contract and chainsaw. Listen. From the uncut forest, a Stella's jay calls. The last bird sound before the silence comes. It will not call again tonight. The sky is orange at the western rim, the Mogollon Rim silhouetted, a 7,000-foot escarpment running 200 miles across Arizona. Exhale and watch the cloud hang in the cold air, 3 degrees colder since you arrived. 34 now. Somewhere in this forest, half a mile east, something is already present, suspended above a clearing, waiting. What made the craft choose this forest, this clearing, this night? The 7 men are loading into the truck. This is the freeze. Doors open, bodies mid-entry, the last moment of normalcy. Walk around the truck and study each man entering. Mike Rogers is already behind the wheel. Door closed, engine started, both hands on the wheel, waiting. Travis Walton swings into the passenger side. His right hand grips the doorframe. His left foot is on the running board, body mid-climb. His face, tired, relaxed, ready to go home. Ken Peterson slides into the middle of the front seat, shoulder against Travis, adjusting for space. Bring your face within 3 inches of his. No fear, no premonition, nothing. A young man's face at the end of a workday. In the back, Goulet, Pierce, Smith, Dallas sorting themselves into insufficient space, elbows and knees. The daily negotiation of too many men in too small a truck. This is the last frame of ordinary life. Every man in this truck will pass a polygraph. Every man will carry this night forever. Travis is settling into the passenger seat. Lean in through the open door. 22 years old. Brown hair, longer than the others, curling at the collar. Hazel eyes. A lean face, angular. His hands are calloused. Pine sap stains the creases of his palms. A band-aid on his left index finger from a chainsaw nick days ago. He's looking forward through the windshield, thinking about the drive home or dinner, or nothing at all. Check his jacket pockets, the same wallet you will find mid-air in the beam, the same few dollars, the same driver's license. He dropped out of high school, lives with his mother Mary in Snowflake. His brother Dwayne is the family UFO enthusiast. Travis has heard the stories, but never taken them seriously. His hard hat sits on his lap, the white shell with Walton in marker on the brim. In 5 minutes, it will be mid-fall behind his floating body. Step back. The truck doors are closing. The engine runs, held in mid-idle. Its vibration trembles the door handles, exhaust a grey curl behind the tailpipe. The headlights are on. Snowflake sat at 5,640 feet on the southern edge of the Colorado Plateau. A town founded in 1878 by Mormon pioneers, William Flake and Erastus Snow, who combined their surnames for the settlement. By 1975, the population was approximately 3,000. A tight community built around the LDS Church, cattle ranching, and forest work. The Mogollon Rim defined the town's economy. Federal timber contracts provided steady employment for crews like Rogers's, and the ponderosa pine forests stretching east from Snowflake to Show Low to Pine Top represented the primary industry outside agriculture. These were insular communities where families had lived for generations, where everyone knew everyone, and where a man's word carried weight because his family's reputation backed it. When Travis Walton disappeared, the entire town became a witness or a suspect. The Walton family was not Mormon, which placed them slightly outside the community's core. Travis's older brother Dwayne had a reputation as a UFO enthusiast who talked openly about wanting to see a spacecraft. The skeptics would later point to this as evidence of fabrication. The community never fully decided what it believed, but it never stopped talking about it. Snowflake, Arizona, became synonymous with one event, and the 7 men who drove out of the forest that night carried their town's name into a story that refused to end. The road is a scar through the forest, a single lane of packed volcanic soil, red-brown, with ruts deep enough to scrape the truck's undercarriage. Kneel and press your palm into a rut. The soil is cold, compacted by months of daily transit. Water has pooled in the deepest sections and frozen. Thin ice that will crack under the tires. Pine needles encroach from both sides, the forest reclaiming the road wherever the truck's tires do not press. Fallen branches have been dragged aside, the crew's daily maintenance, keeping their access route clear. Look both directions. In daylight, this is ordinary. At dusk, with the trees darkening on both sides and the sky narrowing to a strip above, it feels enclosed. Climb into the truck bed and peer through the rear window. 7 heads, 7 bodies compressed into a space meant for 5. Steam from the heater fogs the windshield. Roger's gloved hand is on the windshield. Mid-wipe, a clear arc drawn through the condensation. The cab temperature sits at 75 degrees from 7 bodies, and the heater, while the outside air is 34. Condensation covers every window, the moisture of 7 men breathing in an enclosed space. The side windows are opaque at the edges. The radio plays country music at low volume. A Heber station, the signal fading in and out as the road dips between ridges. Press your ear to the rear window. Muffled voices. The men are talking. The conversation is about the contract. Rogers' mouth is open. Mid-sentence. The crew boss calculating. Acreage remaining, days until the deadline. The math does not work. Travis answers, something about working Saturday, pushing the hours. Optimistic or defiant, hard to tell through glass. Alan Dallas interrupts. His tone is sharper. Something about Rogers' planning, the contract terms. A grievance that has been simmering all season. The conversation is ordinary workplace friction. Bosses and deadlines, and men who are tired and cold and want to go home. Listen carefully. Pick up the tone, not the words. Resignation, defiance, irritation. In 60 seconds, this conversation will end. Every word they were saying will be forgotten, replaced by one thing, the craft, that will define every conversation they have for the rest of their lives. Drop from the truck bed. Stand in the road. The truck sits frozen beside you, headlights aimed into the dark ahead. The Ponderosa trunks glow amber orange in the headlights, the bark thick, furrowed, the color of cinnamon. Above the headlight line, darkness. The canopy is a black mass against a purple sky. Step off the road into the trees. The underbrush crunches, dry from autumn. The forest is dense, trees every 8 to 10 feet, their crowns interlocking above, shutting out the sky. The smell, cold pine, volcanic soil, the faint sweetness of ponderosa bark. Vanilla. Butterscotch. A scent unique to this species. Reach out and press your nose against a ponderosa trunk. The bark smells like warm butterscotch, even in freezing air. This is the forest that will become famous. These trees, this road, this stretch of Apache-Sitgreaves. Maps will mark it. Back on the road, tire tracks in the soft soil, fresh from today's transit. A cigarette butt ground into a rut. Someone tossed it from the truck window on the drive out this morning. Pick it up. Marlboro. Filter crushed, stained with coffee. Boot prints at a pullout where someone stepped out to relieve himself earlier. A broken branch used to scrape mud from a boot, discarded by the road. These details exist in this frozen moment and nowhere else. No one will remember any of this. The cigarette, the boot prints, the broken branch, all replaced in memory by what comes next. Look up through the pines. The sky is visible in strips between the crowns. Stars have emerged in the east. Vega, Deneb, the early points of the winter sky already present. The constellation outlines forming in the dark. The western sky still glows orange. The last light behind the Mogollon Rim, 40 miles south. No aircraft visible. No satellites. The sky is empty. But it is not empty. Half a mile east, something hovers above a clearing that these men will reach in 90 seconds. Tilt your head back until your neck aches. The ponderosa crowns frame the stars like the walls of a roofless cathedral. The last clean sky these men will look at without wondering. How many times had the craft been here before this night? Within days of Travis Walton's disappearance, Navajo County Sheriff Marlin Gillespie faced a potential murder investigation. 7 men drove into the forest. 6 came back. There was no body, no blood, and 6 witnesses telling a story about a flying disc and a beam of light. Gillespie ordered polygraph examinations for all 6 crew members. The tests were administered by Cy Gilson of the Arizona Department of Public Safety, one of the state's most experienced examiners. The core questions were direct. Did you cause Travis Walton bodily harm? Do you know if Travis Walton's body is buried somewhere in the Turkey Springs area? Did you tell the truth about seeing a UFO? 5 of the 6 men passed decisively. Alan Dallas's results were initially inconclusive due to emotional agitation during the test. But a later re-examination also showed no deception. When Travis returned, he too would take polygraph tests. The first, administered by an examiner hired by the National Enquirer, produced results the examiner described as inconclusive due to Walton's extreme emotional state. A second test, years later by Cy Gilson, showed no deception. Philip Klass challenged the methodology, the examiners, and the conditions. But the polygraphs held. 6 ordinary men told an extraordinary story, and the machines said they believed it. Stand outside the truck at the curve in the road. Face east. Through the trees. The glow is there. Amber gold light filtering through 100 ponderosa trunks, painting each one in a stripe of warm color. The light source is hidden deep in the forest, perhaps a quarter mile away. You cannot see what produces it. Walk toward it, 3 steps off the road into the underbrush. The glow brightens as the angle changes. The light is steady. No flicker, no pulse. A continuous amber radiance turning the dark forest into a gallery of illuminated columns. Pine needles above catch the light and become copper filaments, each one individually lit. This light is wrong. Too bright for a campfire, too steady for a vehicle, too warm for a flare. And the sunset is over. Return to the truck. Go to the passenger side and look through the window. Ken Peterson is in the middle of the front seat. His head is mid-turn to the right. He has seen the glow. His mouth is opening, the first syllable of a word forming on his lips. His eyes are fixed on the glow through the trees. Not alarmed yet. Curious. His brain is processing. What is that light? Lean in through the window and study his face. The transition from casual to alert, caught between frames. Peterson is the observer of this group. He notices things. He was the first to spot the glow, and he will be the most detailed witness in the testimonies that follow. His body leans forward, toward the light, not away from it. Curiosity, not fear. That will change. Travis is by the passenger door, looking forward through the windshield. Look at his face from outside the truck. He has not seen the glow. His head is straight ahead. He is thinking about something else. The drive home, the contract, nothing. His expression is neutral. Tiredness. The end-of-day blankness of a man who has been running a chainsaw for 10 hours. In approximately 60 seconds, Ken Peterson will say something. Travis will look right. He will see the glow. And then the clearing will open. When Travis sees the craft, he will tell Rogers to stop. He will jump from the truck before it has fully stopped. He will walk toward the light. Examine his hands resting on his thighs. Relaxed. The sawdust still in his calluses. The band-aid on his left finger. These hands will strike an alien being in approximately 20 minutes. Right now, they rest on denim, at peace. Step back from the truck and face the forest between you and the glow. The ponderosa trunks are striped, amber light on the side facing the source, deep shadow on the side facing you. The effect is like a second sunset, but from the wrong direction, from the east, from deep in the forest. Walk between the trees toward the glow. Each step changes the angle, the stripes rotating around the trunks as you move. The underbrush casts long shadows westward, ferns, dead branches, fallen logs, each one outlined in amber. No heat from this light. No sound. The ponderosa bark, normally cinnamon brown, has gone gold. The trees look made of metal. Return to the road. Stand between the truck and the glow. Behind you, a truck full of tired men driving home from work. Country music on the radio. Ahead, a light in the forest that has no explanation. The truck has not reached the curve yet. The men cannot see the source. In 45 seconds, they will round the bend, and the clearing will open, and the craft will be there, hovering, luminous, real, and their lives will change. Stand at the point where the road enters the clearing. The forest ends abruptly. Dense pines, then open ground, then the craft above. The clearing floor is visible. Pine needles, logging debris, and at the center, the craft's light cone illuminating everything in amber. The silence is total. No birds, no insects, no wind. The subsonic hum is faint but present, a pressure in your chest. Look down. Travis's footprints will be here in 5 minutes, moving fast toward the clearing, his stride lengthening. Right now, the ground is unmarked. Right now, this is just a clearing. The craft hangs above it as if it has always been here. Turn around and face the truck. 50 yards back, headlights bouncing through the ruts. 7 men in a truck, going home. A normal evening. The radio playing. Someone telling a joke or complaining about the cold. In 45 seconds, Travis will jump from this truck and walk toward the light. The things that will be lost. Travis's anonymity, his ordinary life, his ability to walk into a room without being the UFO guy. Mike Rogers' friendship with Travis. It will survive for decades, then shatter in 2021 when Rogers recants publicly. Steve Pierce's youth. He is 17, and after tonight, he will never be treated as an ordinary teenager again. Touch a ponderosa trunk beside the road. The bark is warm from the glow. The tree does not know what is about to happen beneath it. The truck is in the curve. headlights frozen mid-sweep, the beams cutting through the underbrush at an angle, illuminating a strip of pine trunks and scattered rock. The front wheels are turned, the chassis tilted into the bend. Stand at the edge of the clearing and face both, the truck behind you, the craft above. The disc-shaped craft hovers motionless, 15 to 20 feet above the ground. The amber gold hull fills the gap in the canopy, a solid presence, luminous, real, hovering in defiance of everything these men understand about the world. The beam has not fired yet. The underside is smooth, unbroken. The craft simply hovers and glows. The hum is stronger here, a vibration that enters through your feet and rises through your skeleton. The truck's headlights and the craft's glow compete on the forest floor. White and amber, the ordinary and the impossible, overlapping on the pine needles. Through the windshield, Travis Walton's face, mid-turn, seeing the craft for the first time. Study his expression. His eyes widen. Not fear, wonder. His mouth falls slightly open. His body leans forward, toward the windshield, toward the light. His right hand is on the door handle. The door is ajar, a 2-inch gap where he has pushed it, not yet enough to swing open. His foot is aimed at the running board. He is about to leave the truck. Look at the other men, Peterson staring. Dallas mid-curse, mouth open, Pierce still, Goulet and Smith turning their heads in unison. Travis is half out of the truck. His boots will hit the ground, and he will walk toward the craft. Nobody will stop him. Pine resin dissolves on your tongue. In its place, something warm, humid, faintly sweet. Your inner ear tilts upward. The ground rises beneath you, and the forest floor becomes a smooth surface pressing against your back. Time leaps forward. Minutes. Hours. The beam fires. Travis rises, his body arching, the forest floor dropping away. The truck shrinks to a set of headlights. The clearing becomes a circle of trees seen from above. The sky opens. Stars. Then the underside of the craft. Then darkness. A tunnel of light. The light dims. The air changes. Cold mountain air becomes warm, humid air. The smell of pine vanishes, replaced by something organic, almost alive. The sounds of earth disappear one by one. The hum swallows them. Warmth on your back. A smooth surface beneath you. Weight on your chest. Movement at the edges of your vision. Shapes, pale, watching. Travis is on a table. 3 figures surround him. Something presses against his chest. The room is warm, humid, metallic. His eyes open. The moment locks. The walls curve around you. No corners, no edges, no seams. Step inside and turn slowly. The room is a continuous surface. Floor becomes wall, becomes ceiling in one unbroken arc. Touch the wall. Warm, slightly above body temperature, with the faintest give beneath your palm. Not metal. Not plastic. Not stone. Press harder. It yields a millimeter, then resists. A material with no earthly comparison. The ceiling is low, 7 feet. You can reach it. Press your palm flat against it. The same warmth, the same give. Light comes from everywhere. No bulbs, no panels, no fixtures. The room itself glows, dim and amber. Your footsteps make no sound on the floor. The air smells alive. Warm, humid. A sweetness that is not chemical, but organic. Like the inside of a greenhouse. The table rises from the floor as if grown from it. No legs, no pedestal. A continuous surface extending upward from the deck. Approach it. The table is contoured, not flat, but subtly shaped to cradle a human body. depressions for the shoulders, a slight rise for the lumbar spine. Touch the surface beside Travis's body. Contour to a specificity that cannot be accidental. This surface has held bodies before. Many bodies. The shape is calibrated. No restraints. No straps. No buckles. No bindings of any kind. Travis is not held by anything but the presence of the beings around him. Above the table, an articulated arm extends from the ceiling. At its end, an oval device. Reach up and examine it. The arm has 3 joints, not hinged like human engineering, but flowing, as if the joints are sections of flexible material rather than separate pieces. The oval device is approximately 8 inches long and 5 wide. Dark grey, smooth, heavier than it looks. Grip the edge, turn it over. The underside has no visible components. No lens, no sensor, no electrode, no display. A smooth, featureless surface. A faint warmth emanates from it. The device was operating. Whatever it was doing to Travis's chest, it was doing through this surface without visible mechanism. The arm is positioned to lower the device precisely onto the chest of someone lying on the table. The calibration is exact. The device slid sideways when Travis struggled, the arm flexing rather than breaking, designed to accommodate resistance. Travis is half raised on the table, propped on his left elbow, right arm extended from the strike, crouched beside the table at his level. His breathing is rapid, shallow. You can see the intercostal muscles working between his ribs through the pulled-up flannel. His chest shows 2 red marks. The upper mark, near the collarbone, is where the beam struck in the forest. A diffuse redness, like a mild burn. Lower on his chest, a second mark, circular, the exact diameter of the oval apparatus. This one is fresh. Push his flannel shirt aside gently. The lower mark sits precisely centered over his sternum. His skin is warm and damp, a sheen of sweat across his torso from the room's warmth. His pupils are fully dilated. The room is dim, but his pupils are wider than the light level explains. A chemical effect, or terror, or both. His right arm is extended from the strike. The inner forearm is exposed. Turn his wrist gently and look. The puncture marks. You saw these in the beam, already formed. Here they are fresh. 2 small needle marks, the skin around them still raised. A tiny bead of blood at one puncture, not wiped, still forming. This happened minutes ago. The marks are precisely placed over the median cubital vein, the standard site for intravenous access. Whoever did this knew human anatomy. Press the skin around the marks gently. No swelling, no inflammation, a clean insertion and withdrawal. Whatever was drawn from Travis's blood or injected into it happened in this room with these beings, using an instrument you cannot see. Stand up from beside Travis and face the room. 3 beings, each in a different position, each still. Look at each one in turn. The nearest, 4.5 feet tall, stumbling backwards from Travis's blow, one hand extended for balance. The second, at the foot of the table, reaching toward Travis with both hands, fingers extended. Long, thin, an extra joint visible in each digit. The third, near the doorway, half turned towards the corridor, already moving away, going to get something, or someone. They wear seamless tannish orange jumpsuits. The material has no zippers, no buttons, no visible fasteners of any kind. Their heads are large, domed, smooth, hairless. The cranium extends farther back than a human skull. No visible ears. Their faces, small noses, 2 openings with minimal protrusion. Small mouths, thin-lipped, closed. And the eyes. Move to the nearest being, the one stumbling from Travis's strike. Stand directly in front of it. The eyes are enormous, occupying nearly half the face. Brown, not solid black. Visible irises. Pupils. A faint reflection of the room's light. The pupils are round, like human pupils, but proportionally larger. They are focused, not glazed, not blank. These eyes are looking at Travis. Lean close, within a foot of the being's face. The eyes have depth. A faint reflection in the left eye. The table, Travis's raised body, the apparatus arm. The eye is a convex mirror of this room. The expression is not fear, not pain, not anger at being struck. Clinical interest, curiosity. This being is studying Travis even as it falls. These are not the solid black eyes of later abduction accounts. These are complex, detailed, organic eyes that see and process and understand. The being Travis struck is within arm's reach. Reach toward its hand. 4 visible digits, or 5, with the thumb folded differently than a human thumb. Long, thin. The digits curl differently than human fingers. A wrap, not a pinch. Touch the fabric of the jumpsuit at the being's shoulder. Warm, smooth. The feel of fine silk, but with the weight of canvas. Run your finger along the shoulder seam. There is no shoulder seam. Continue along the arm. No seam anywhere. Hold the sleeve to the dim amber light. The being weighs perhaps 60 to 70 pounds. The frame is thin. Narrow shoulders, thin limbs, a torso proportionally longer than a human's. A faint mineral smell like wet stone, clean, inhuman. Walk around the table to the being at the foot. It stands with both hands extended towards Travis. This being is slightly taller than the first, perhaps 4 feet 9. Its hands reach toward Travis's ankles. Whether to hold him down, to examine him, or to continue a procedure, you cannot tell. Study its face at the foot of the table. The same oversized gaze, but the expression is different. More intent. More focused. Its mouth is slightly open. A thin line of separation between the lips. No teeth visible. No tongue. Just darkness inside. The jumpsuit on this being is identical to the others. Tannish orange. Identical in every detail. But near the collar, a subtle variation. A slight change in texture. Like a rank insignia without the insignia. The third being is near the doorway, half turned away from the table, mid-stride toward the corridor. Follow it. It is the smallest of the 3, perhaps 4 feet 2. Its stride is mid-step, 1 foot forward, weight shifting. Its head is turned slightly back towards Travis, a last look before leaving. That watchful stare angled over its shoulder. This being is not fleeing. It is not frightened. Its posture carries purpose. Weight forward, mid-stride towards something specific. It has a task, a destination. Look at its hands. They are empty. Whatever it is going to retrieve, it does not have yet. The doorway it approaches is not a door. No frame, no hinge, no panel. An opening in the curved wall, approximately 3 feet wide and 6 feet tall. Beyond it, the corridor. Curved, unbroken grey walls. Sourceless light. Return to the closest being, the one stumbling from Travis's blow. Study the exposed skin of its face and hands. The skin is pale, not white, but a very light grey, almost luminous, as if the ambient light passes slightly through it. Lean close to the being's cheek, a half-inch away. The surface is continuous like paper, but living. Warm. Press your fingertip to the being's temple gently. A pulsation is there. Rhythmic. A circulatory system. The pulse rate is faster than human. Much faster. Approximately 140 beats per minute. The skin stretches over the domed skull without the furrows and contours of a human scalp. One continuous surface from forehead to the back of the head. Grip the fabric at the being's sleeve. Pull it slightly away from the arm. The material stretches, elastic, returning to form when released. It clings to the body without constricting. Examine the neckline, where the jumpsuit meets the skin. There is no closure, no zipper, no magnetic seal, no adhesive. The fabric appears to end and the skin appears to begin. The boundary between fabric and skin is invisible. The jumpsuit may not be worn. It may be applied. Hold the fabric to the light. The material is slightly translucent when stretched thin, the shape of the limb visible beneath. The color is uniform across the entire garment. No variations, no fading, no wear marks. Either it is new or it does not age. Stand in the center of the room between all three beings. Listen. Nothing. No breathing from any of them. Not the rasp of air, not the expansion of a chest. Watch the nearest being's torso. No rise and fall, no respiratory movement visible through the jumpsuit. They do not breathe, or they breathe so subtly the movement is invisible. Press your ear to the nearest being's chest. A sound, not breathing. A low, sustained vibration. The being's body resonating at the same frequency as the room. The circulatory system operates below human auditory range. These beings exist in silence. No speech, no breath sound, no footfalls. They occupied a room with a terrified man and produced not a single sound. Take the nearest being's hand in both of yours. The hand is warm, body temperature approximately 98 degrees. 4 digits are immediately visible, long, thin, each approximately 4 inches from base to tip. An extra joint divides each finger into 3 phalanges instead of 2. The extra joint allows the fingers to curl differently. The grip is not a pinch, but a wrap. These fingers can encircle a human wrist completely. Press your thumb against a fingertip. Slightly padded. No visible fingerprint ridges. Smooth. A faint adhesive quality. The fingertip sticks slightly to your thumb. The nails, if they are nails, are tiny. Translucent crescents at the tip of each digit, barely a millimeter of extension. The palm is smooth. No creases. No calluses, no lifeline. A hand that does not grip tools, does not perform manual labor. Release the being's hand. Turn toward the doorway. The corridor waits. By 1975, the modern abduction narrative had a small but growing template. Missing time. Medical examination aboard a craft. Beings with large eyes. Fragmented memory. Betty and Barney Hill's 1961 encounter established the pattern. The physical details varied between accounts, but the procedural elements recurred. Examination, instruments on the chest, needle marks, amnesia. What distinguished Travis Walton's account was the witnesses. No previous abduction case had 6 independent observers who saw the abductee taken. No previous case had polygraph confirmation from all witnesses. And no previous case provided such detailed, conscious memory description of the craft's interior. Whether the pattern of similarity across cases represented a real phenomenon, cultural contamination, or the architecture of the human mind under extreme stress, remained unresolved. Step through the doorway. The transition from room to corridor is seamless. No frame, no threshold. The corridor is narrow, 3 feet wide. Your shoulders nearly brush both walls, touch both walls at once. The same warm, matte grey material, the same slight give. The ceiling is lower here, perhaps 6 feet. A tall person would duck. The floor curves upwards to meet the walls. No right angles anywhere. The cross-section of this corridor is oval. Ahead of you, the third being stands mid-stride in the narrow space. Its tannish orange jumpsuit is the brightest colour in the corridor. Run your hand along the right wall as you walk. After 10 feet, a subtle change. A line in the material, barely visible, detectable by touch more than sight. Press the line. Nothing happens. A seam or a panel edge, or a doorway that does not open for you. The hidden door, if it is a door, is recessed 1 millimeter from the corridor wall. Only your fingertips detect the boundary. How many hidden doors run along this corridor? You cannot tell. The craft may be full of rooms behind these walls. The corridor curves right, the examination room disappearing behind you. The light ahead brightens slightly. The air temperature drops as you walk, cooler with each step. The humidity decreasing. The craft has climate zones. The third being is 5 feet ahead. Match its stride and walk beside it. The being's gait is different from a human walk. Shorter steps, a slight side-to-side sway, the hips articulating differently. Its bare feet. You notice for the first time that the beings have no shoes. The feet are exposed below the jumpsuit's hem. Look at them. Small, pale, toes longer than human toes and slightly webbed at the base. The feet grip the floor with each step, the same adhesive quality as the fingertips. These beings cling to surfaces. The corridor floor shows no wear beneath the being's feet. Either this corridor is new, or these beings are too light to mark it. The being does not acknowledge your presence. Its posture carries purpose. Weight forward, mid-stride, aimed at something specific. Wherever it was going, it has been there before. The corridor curves one final time and opens. The light ahead is significantly brighter. Stop at the threshold, a larger space beyond. The ceiling rises, the walls pull apart. The confined corridor gives way to volume. Step to the threshold. The room beyond is circular, perhaps 15 feet across. In its center, a chair, a single chair, molded from the same continuous material as everything else. The chair faces a concave ceiling, and the ceiling is alive with points of light, stars. The being you followed has moved to the far side of this room. It stands by another doorway, watching, waiting. Stop in the corridor, breathe deeply. The air is different from Earth air, not in an obvious way, not thin, not thick, but subtly wrong. There is no wind, no circulation that you can feel, but the air must circulate. It has not gone stale. Whatever keeps it alive does so below any threshold of sensation. The humidity gradient is noticeable. Wet in the examination room, dry here. The craft manages its atmosphere by zone. Inhale through your nose. The organic sweetness of the examination room has been replaced by something cleaner, almost metallic. The oxygen level feels normal. You are not lightheaded, not euphoric, not short of breath. Whatever this atmosphere is, it sustains human life. Travis will breathe this air for as long as he is aboard. 5 days, though he will believe it was hours. Stand still in the corridor and close your eyes. The ambient hum is present, the same frequency as the examination room, but attenuated by the corridor walls. A second sound, a very low oscillation, almost subsonic, felt in your chest more than heard. The two frequencies interact, the hum and the oscillation, creating a slow pulsation, a beating pattern. Press your palms flat against the corridor walls. The walls of this craft have transmitted something into your body, a frequency too low for ears, but there in your chest, your sternum, your back teeth where they touch. The vibration is not present now. It has been, and it lives in your flesh as an after-image of sensation. The craft does not sing to you. It has already sung. You carry the frequency. This is what Travis has been immersed in since the beam. Constant, inescapable, the background frequency of an alien architecture. Open your eyes. The chair room is ahead. Step through. Travis Walton's account of the craft interior was unusual in the abduction literature, for one critical reason. It did not depend on hypnotic regression. The core narrative, the table, the beings, the apparatus, the corridor, the chair room, the star display, the hangar, and the human figures, came from his conscious, waking memory. He was interviewed extensively by APRO investigators Coral and Jim Lorenzen within days of his return, while his memories were fresh, and before the media amplification that would later complicate everything. He described the examination room in detail. The warmth, the humidity, the sweet smell, the apparatus on his chest, the three beings, their jumpsuit material, their skin texture, their silence. He described striking the being, running into the corridor, finding the chair room, touching the lever, watching the stars rotate. And he described the human figures, the tall being in the blue jumpsuit and helmet who led him to a second room, where three more human-looking beings guided him to a table and placed a mask over his face. What he could not remember, how he arrived on the table. The transition from the beam in the forest to consciousness in the examination room was blank, a gap he has never been able to fill, even under hypnosis. He also could not establish duration. He believed he had been aboard the craft for a few hours. 5 days had passed. The gap between subjective experience and objective time has never been explained. The warm, humid air thins. The organic sweetness fades. Pressure shifts in your skull. A pop behind your eardrums, as if the altitude has changed. The corridor walls blur at the edges, the matte grey dissolving to something brighter. Time moves. Not forward or backward, sideways. Minutes pass inside a craft. Travis pushes past the beings. He runs into the corridor. The beings do not follow. The corridor bends and opens into a room he has not seen. A chair in the center. A lever on the armrest. He sits. He grips the lever. The ceiling changes. Grey becomes black, and the black fills with stars. The walls dissolve. The room becomes the universe. A chair in open space. Stars in every direction. A lever under his hand. And behind him, footsteps. Heavy, human. Travis sits in the chair. The stars are stopped. A figure approaches from across the room. Tall, blue jumpsuit, clear helmet. Its hand is extended. The moment locks. Approach the chair from behind. It faces away from the doorway, towards the wall that is now stars. The chair rises from the floor, the same way the table did. No legs, no pedestal, a continuous growth from the deck. Walk around it. The shape is like a recliner. Angled back, armrests, a headrest, but molded, organic, without upholstery. There is room to crouch beside it on the floor. The chair is too small. Travis fills it. but uncomfortably. His shoulders extend past the backrest. His knees sit higher than the seat allows for. The headrest hits him mid-skull. Whoever usually sits here is shorter, narrower, with a differently proportioned spine. The seat has a wear pattern, a subtle depression that does not match Travis's body. Someone else sits here regularly. Travis's left hand grips the armrest. His knuckles are white, the tendons standing out. Look at what his hand is near. The T-shaped lever on the left armrest, a grip molded to a hand that's not human, slightly too small. The T-bar is narrow. Touch the lever. It moves with almost no resistance, a frictionless mechanism. Travis pushed this lever. The stars began to rotate. He released it. The stars stopped. Cause and effect, the simplest interface aboard this craft. On the right armrest, the screen, 5 inches square, recessed into the surface, lime green background with black lines. Touch the screen. A slight electrical tingle meets your fingertip at the surface. Study the lines on the screen. Black on lime green. Sharp. Geometric. Bring your face close. The lines form a pattern that could be a map. Intersecting routes, nodes at some intersections. Some nodes are brighter than others. Tiny points of increased intensity at specific junctions. The display is static, but it feels like it was updating when Travis touched the lever. Tap the screen with your finger. Nothing responds. The interface requires something you do not have. Compare the screen pattern to the star display above. Some line configurations seem to correspond. The screen may be a detailed view of whatever the ceiling shows. A 22-year-old logging worker from Snowflake, Arizona, sat in this chair and operated this lever. He did not understand what he was looking at. Neither do you. Look up. The ceiling is concave, domed, curving from the walls to a central point approximately 12 feet above. The star display occupies the entire surface. Points of light. Dark lines. At the edges, where the display meets the wall, the transition is visible. The display is not a projection onto a surface. The surface itself has changed. The matte grey material has become transparent, or has been replaced by something that shows space. Run your hand along the wall at the display's lower edge. The material changes from warm matte grey to something cooler, smoother, glass-like. The boundary between wall and display is not sharp. It fades, the grey dissolving into stars over a band of perhaps 6 inches. This technology has no name. It is not a screen. It is not a window. It is not a hologram. The walls of this room became the universe. Lean back and look straight up into the star field. Points of light. Hundreds, perhaps thousands. Not the familiar constellations. Not the view from Earth. The stars are stopped in their rotation. Travis released the lever and the sky locked. No Big Dipper. No Orion. No Polaris. Dark curving lines connect specific stars, like routes on a map. Some lines are longer, connecting distant points. Some are short, linking nearby pairs. One cluster near the edge of the display glows slightly brighter. A concentration of connected stars, more lines converging there than anywhere else. Point at it and study it. A destination. An origin. A home. The cluster has the density of a hub, a place where routes converge. Stand beside the chair and look out. The walls are gone. The star display extends in every direction. The floor beneath your feet is still there, solid, the same material, but dark, almost invisible in the starlight. The chair appears to float in open space. Travis appears to float. You appear to float. Grip the chair for stability. The illusion is total. Your brain cannot distinguish this display from actual space. Vertigo arrives. If this is a display, it is the most perfect visual illusion ever created. If this is a window, then this room is open to space, and only atmosphere and gravity hold you in place. Travis's reaction is visible in his body. His knees pressed together, feet flat on the floor, hands gripping. He is afraid of falling. Into space, into the stars, into the void around the chair. The ambient hum has changed in this room, a slightly higher harmonic. The craft knows the display is active. Look at the Travis's face as he sits surrounded by an alien sky. He is not looking at the stars. He is looking at the figure approaching him, the tall, human-looking figure in the blue jumpsuit. His expression has shifted from the terror of the examination room to something else, a kind of bewildered compliance. He has moved through fear and come out the other side into numbness. The impossible has become the ongoing. His hands grip the armrests, but not with white-knuckled terror, with the grip of someone holding on to the only solid thing in a room that has become the universe. Travis Walton dropped out of high school. He cuts trees for a living. He has never been on an airplane. The stars reflect in his eyes. Both skies, the one above and the one in the display, moving across his pupils. He is the least qualified person on Earth to interpret what he is seeing. He will remember every detail for the rest of his life. The figure stands mid-stride, closing the distance. Step aside. The human figure in the blue jumpsuit stands beside Travis at the top of a steep ramp, one hand on his arm, the other gesturing downward. Travis is mid-step, weight forward, descending. Walk the ramp alongside them. The surface is smooth, without steps, providing grip through its molecular texture. The angle is perhaps 30 degrees, steep enough to lean back slightly for balance. The ramp is wide, 8 feet across, wider than any corridor in the craft. A throughway, not a passage. Touch the ramp surface. The grip is part of the material. Microscopic ridges that prevent slipping. Not applied, inherent. The walls widen as you descend. The enclosed corridor opens up. The ceiling rises. The light increases with each step. Brighter, warmer, more ambient light than anywhere in the examination craft. At the bottom of the ramp, the space opens. Your field of vision expands from a narrow corridor to something that stops your breathing. Step off the ramp onto the hangar floor. The space is enormous, hundreds of feet across. The ceiling is high enough to be indistinct, perhaps 50 feet above, perhaps more. The floor is smooth, dark, reflective. Your distorted reflection moves beneath your feet as you walk. Turn in a full circle. The hangar extends in every direction. The walls are distant, curved, the same unbroken grey, but at a scale that dwarfs everything you have seen. Multiple craft are visible, parked, docked, arranged. Not one, several. Some disc-shaped, like the craft from the forest. Others different. Oblong, tapered, configurations you have no names for. The nearest craft sits 30 feet away. A disc, approximately the same diameter as the one in the clearing. Is it the same? Or a sister ship? This hangar is larger than the original craft. This is not the inside of that disc. Travis has been moved to a station, a base, a vessel of a different order. Kneel on the hangar floor. Press your palm flat. The surface is cooler than inside the craft, harder, denser than the examination room material, built for weight, built for craft landing on it. Your reflection in the floor is distorted, not mirror smooth, but close. The dark grey surface has depth, like looking into tinted glass. Stand and stamp your foot. The sound carries. This is the first space that echoes. The echo returns from the distant walls with a delay, the acoustic signature of a vast enclosed space. The ambient hum is louder here, richer, with harmonic layers, multiple frequencies stacked. This is not one craft humming. This is a structure humming. The floor has no markings, no painted lines, no directional arrows, no landing indicators. These craft know where to go. Walk to the nearest disc-shaped craft. It sits on the hangar floor, resting on its underside. The same design as the craft in the forest, approximately 20 feet across, tapering at the rim. But parked, grounded, it looks different. Smaller, somehow. More solid. Less magical. Without the amber glow, it is dark grey, matte, industrial. Touch the hull. The surface is cool, smooth, the same continuous construction. No landing gear. The craft sits directly on its flat underside. The hull is the landing gear. The hull is everything. Walk around it. The full circumference, 60-odd feet. No doors visible. No hatches. No seams that indicate an entry point. How did Travis get in? How does anyone get in? The craft has no visible means of ingress. Beyond the nearest disc, other shapes occupy the hangar's distances. Walk deeper. An oblong craft, longer than the discs, perhaps 40 feet, with a tapered front and a blunt rear. No wings, no tail surfaces. Its surface has the same seamless quality, but the colour differs slightly. Darker, almost black, with a faint purple iridescence. Touch the oblong craft's hull, different from the disc. Cooler, harder. A different material, or a different treatment of the same one. Further away, a shape you cannot categorize. Triangular from this angle. The surface angled in facets rather than curves. The variety suggests purpose. Different craft for different functions. These are not all the same vehicle. This is a fleet. The tall figure is beside Travis, mid-stride, one hand on his arm. Match their frozen position. Stand alongside. The figure is approximately 6 feet tall. Muscular build, tan skin, short brown hair. A blue jumpsuit, similar cut to the being's orange ones, but larger. A clear helmet, like a bubble, fitted close to the head. Through the helmet, a human face. Or what looks like a human face. The eyes are visible. Golden hazel, unusually vivid, slightly too large for the face. Look directly into them. The figure does not return your gaze. It looks ahead, guiding Travis, moving with purpose. Its hand on Travis's arm is firm, warm, the grip of someone accustomed to leading. Not aggressive, professional. The blue jumpsuit has no markings, no insignia, no name tag. But the colour is different from the being's orange. Rank, role, species. Study Travis beside the guide. His posture is unsteady, shoulders forward, a slight lean. The frozen gait of a man in shock, caught, mid-shuffle. Walk in front of him and face him. His eyes are wide but unfocused, taking in the hangar's scale without processing it. His mouth moves slightly, forming words or half-words that produce no sound. His right hand hangs at his side, the hand that struck the being. It trembles faintly. He is following the guide because there is nothing else to do. The fight response has been spent. The flight response has nowhere to go. Look at his boots on the dark hangar floor. Logging boots. Volcanic soil still in the treads. A universe away from their purpose. Travis Walton is 22 years old, standing in a hangar full of spacecraft, being led by something that looks human, but probably is not. He is more alone than any human being has ever been. The guide and Travis stand mid-stride, aimed at a doorway in the far wall. Walk ahead of them. The geometry of Travis Walton's experience did not fit a single 20-foot disc. The examination room, the corridor, the chair room, and the hangar he described represented a volume that far exceeded what the exterior dimensions of the craft in the clearing could contain. Two explanations were debated. The first, technology that distorted interior space, making a small vessel larger inside than outside, a concept physicists had explored in theoretical discussions of Alcubierre metric bubbles and compactified dimensions, though no practical implementation had ever been proposed. The second, Travis was transferred from the original craft to a larger structure. The beam may have served as a transport mechanism, moving him from the forest into a vessel or station the crew never saw. Something in orbit or hidden or displaced from the clearing in a way no one could observe. The ramp from the chair room to the hangar supported this reading. A ramp implied descent into a larger structure, not deeper penetration of a 20-foot disc. Travis himself could not resolve the question. He entered via beam, lost consciousness, woke on a table, fled through a corridor, found a chair room, descended a ramp, and entered a hangar. The spatial logic of his journey did not add up within the confines of what 6 men saw hovering above the trees. Wherever Travis spent 5 days, it was not inside that disc. Step through the doorway ahead of Travis. The room is brighter than the examination room, warmer light, almost Earth-like. The walls are the same matte grey, but the ceiling is higher. 10 feet, maybe 12. Room designed for taller occupants. A table in the center, larger than the examination table, wider. Equipment stands near it, articulated arms with devices, shapes you cannot name, dark, inactive, waiting. The air is different, drier, cooler, a faint antiseptic quality, clinical. Look up and study the ceiling. Lighting panels are visible for the first time, recessed, emitting warm white light. The first identifiable light sources aboard the craft. This room was designed for human patients. The ceiling height, the table size, the lighting, everything scaled up. 3 figures stand in the room, 2 men and 1 woman. Face them, tall, 5'10" to 6'2", muscular builds, the proportions of athletes, tan skin, even-toned, without blemishes, scars, or moles. Short brown hair on all 3, clipped, uniform, the same shade and length, as if cut by the same hand. Their faces are attractive, symmetrical, balanced, high cheekbones, strong jaws. But the symmetry is uncanny, too perfect, too uniform. Step close to the nearest man, within arm's length. His eyes reflect the warm light. The irises have unusual clarity, like amber with light behind it. A radial pattern is visible, lines radiating from the pupil like the spokes of a wheel. The same golden hazel as the guide, but at this distance, the detail is startling. Not grotesquely large, but subtly beyond the human range. He reaches toward Travis, one hand extended, palm up, a gesture of invitation or guidance. Take his hand instead. The hand is warm, dry, human temperature. The grip is firm, not crushing, not gentle, professionally calibrated. The skin feels human, or close. But there are no calluses, no roughness, no evidence of contact with anything abrasive. Look at his fingernails, trimmed perfectly, smooth, clean. The cuticles are flawless. These hands have never done manual labor. His wrist is thick, the musculature visible beneath the blue jumpsuit sleeve. Strong, but strong in a way that looks designed rather than earned. He is smiling, a closed-mouth smile that reaches his eyes. Warm, reassuring. The smile of a physician greeting a nervous patient. He makes no sound. The smile is his entire communication. The woman stands behind the two men, taller than average, perhaps 5'10", the same athletic build, move past the men to face her. Her face is the most startling, beautiful in a way that feels engineered. The same warm-lit irises, the high cheekbones, the flawless skin. Her expression is calm, not warm like the men's smiles, not cold, steady, clinical composure. In her hands, a mask, clear, oval, approximately the size to cover a nose and mouth, attached to a flexible tube trailing to a device on the table. Look at the mask. The mask is transparent. Inside, a faint mist, a gas, an anesthetic, or something that serves the same function. The tube is smooth, seamless. It connects to a cylindrical device on the table's edge. This is the last thing Travis will see before consciousness leaves. This woman's face. This mask. And then, 5 days of nothing. Stand directly in front of the woman, 1 foot away. Study her face. The skin is flawless at this distance. No pores, no fine lines. But lean closer. At 6 inches, something else. The skin has no variation, no sun damage, no asymmetry in the way light falls across the cheekbone. The flawlessness is not cosmetic. It is structural. Her hair is brown, short, clipped to the same length as the men's. No variation in texture or color, as if grown to specification. Those eyes up close, wide, amber lit, identical to the man's. Beautiful and inhuman at the same distance. Her eyes are at half-mast, caught mid-blink, the eyelids descended to the precise midpoint, neither open nor closed. The exact center of a slow, deliberate blink, too controlled for accident. The lids are steady, held, as if the blink was so measured that time chose to stop inside it. She doesn't breathe visibly. No rise and fall of the chest. No nostril flare. She meets your gaze and holds it. The first time any entity aboard this craft has looked directly at you. Those eyes see something. You cannot tell what. Travis's mouth is open, words frozen mid-formation. The shape of where am I visible in the set of his lips, his tongue pressed against the back of his teeth. His throat is raw, the tendons standing out, the muscles of a voice that has screamed. The 3 figures do not respond. The 2 men hold their practiced expressions, warm, measured, soundless. The woman does not smile. She does not frown. Steady, clinical composure. Their silence is more frightening than the being's silence. The beings might not have had vocal apparatus. These figures look human. They choose not to speak. Travis is on the table. One of the men stands at his right, a hand resting on Travis's arm. The grip that guided him here, gentle, but immovable. The table is wider than the examination table and set at a lower height. Designed for taller patients. Deeper contours suggesting longer occupancy. Headrest, shoulder depressions, arm channels, run your hand along it. This table is designed for someone to lie on for an extended period. The jointed arms you glimpsed on entering are positioned around it now, each bearing a different instrument. Monitors beside them show symbols you cannot read. One device has a readout in a script that is neither numeric nor alphabetic. Angular characters, dense. This is a medical facility. These are doctors, or technicians, or something that serves the same function in an architecture with no human name. The woman stands at Travis's left. The mask is in her hands, positioned 3 inches above his face, not touching yet. The faint mist inside catches the warm light. The tube trails from the mask to a cylindrical device on the table's edge. Study the space between the mask and his face. 3 inches of warm air. His eyes are wide, aimed at the transparent oval above him. Those eyes looking down at his brown ones. A moment of eye contact between species, or between versions of species. His hands grip the table edge, knuckles white, tendons visible. When the mask descends, and it will, in the fraction of a second after this moment unfreezes, his grip will relax. His eyes will soften, then close. The mist will do its work. Check his pulse at the wrist. Elevated. 90 beats per minute. Panic. Whatever is in the mask will calm his entire system. 60 beats per minute. Slack face. Slow breathing. But that is the next moment. In this one, he is still awake. Still gripping. Still terrified. This is where Travis's conscious memory ends. Everything after this point, the next 5 days, is blank. Whatever they are about to do will leave no memory. Only physical evidence. 10 pounds of weight loss, the puncture marks, the 5-day gap. Look at his face one last time. A 22-year-old on a table in an alien medical facility, 3 inches from unconsciousness. Walk the perimeter of the room while the figures work over Travis. The 3 arms above the table are now extended, each positioning a different instrument over Travis's body. One resembles the oval apparatus from the examination room, but larger, with visible internal components behind a transparent panel. A second is long and thin, a probe or scanner, the tip glowing faintly blue. The third is a flat panel, a display. Study it. It shows what appears to be a schematic of a human body. Travis's body. Organs outlined. Measurements annotated in the same notation you saw on the console. Clusters of meaning you cannot access. Lines connect organ outlines to annotation clusters, a body scan frozen mid-reading. Every organ, every bone, every vessel mapped in a resolution that human medicine will not achieve for decades. This is a complete physiological record of a living human, rendered by hands that are not human. Turn from the table and face the doorway back to the hangar. The vast space is visible through the opening. Distant craft, the dark reflective floor, the high ceiling fading to indistinction. Travis will not walk back through this doorway. He will not see the hangar again. His next conscious moment will be on a highway in Heber, Arizona. Between this moment and that one, 5 days. 5 days of what? The examination continues. The body scan maps, the devices work. Travis lies on a table aboard a structure that should not exist, attended by figures that should not exist, in a location that may not be on Earth. The hangar hums, the equipment hums, the figures work in silence. 5 days compress into the space between one breath and the next. Take one last look at Travis sleeping. You will see him again, on his knees, on a highway, in the cold, lighter by 10 pounds and 5 days. Step through the doorway. The hangar dissolves, the craft dissolves, time moves, the antiseptic air of the medical room dissolves. Asphalt grit replaces it on your lips. Cold mountain air, sharp, the kind that stings. Gravity reasserts, hard. The smooth surfaces beneath you become rough ground. Your knees are on pavement. Time leaps. 5 days and 6 hours. The hangar folds inward. The walls compress. The craft shrink. The ceiling descends. The amber glow concentrates to a single point of light. The craft, ascending, shrinking, rising above trees. Ponderosa pine. Dark trunks against a star-filled sky. Ground materializes beneath your knees. Asphalt, cold, gritty. A highway, a gas station. A phone booth with its light on, and a man on his knees on the road. Cold air, 22 degrees, the smell of pine and asphalt. A light above, ascending, amber, fading, the hum of a phone booth fluorescent tube. Travis Walton is on his knees on State Route 260 outside Heber, Arizona. Above him, the craft hangs mid-ascent, 100 feet up, tilted 15 degrees northeast, its amber light narrowing toward the rim. 5 days have passed. He does not know. The moment locks. The highway is cold beneath your feet. Asphalt, cracked, patched, the surface of a rural Arizona road. Kneel beside Travis. He is on his knees, both hands on the pavement, head bowed, his body shaking. Cold, shock, or both. The asphalt beneath his palms is gritty, real, textured in a way that nothing aboard the craft was. Press your own palm to the road beside his. Cold, rough, the bite of aggregate and tar. After 5 days of warm, smooth, seamless alien surfaces, this road is the most earthly thing in the world. Real ground. Human ground. His knees rest on the yellow center line. He was dropped, deposited, returned to the exact center of the road. The surface around him shows no scorch marks, no heat damage, no evidence of the craft's presence. Only Travis and his shadow. Look at him closely. This is not the Travis you saw in the beam. Lift his chin gently. 5-day beard growth, dark stubble covering his jaw and neck. He left clean-shaven. His face is thinner, the cheekbones more prominent. He has lost 10 to 15 pounds in 5 days, 154 to approximately 140. His eyes are bloodshot, red-rimmed, watering in the cold air. Sensitive to light, he squints even in the darkness. Check his hands, the same calloused hands, but the skin is dry, cracked, dehydrated. His lips are chapped and split. He has not had water, or not enough, for days. He is wearing the same clothes, the denim jacket, the flannel shirt, the work jeans, the logging boots, the same clothes from November 5th. Not torn, not dirty. They smell of him and of something else, the faint metallic sweetness of the craft's air, still clinging to the fabric. Travis is looking at the road, the gas station, the pines, trying to orient himself, follow his eyes. He recognizes this road. He knows Heber. But something is wrong. The angle of the stars, the depth of the cold, the quality of the darkness. He thinks it is still November 5th. He thinks a few hours have passed. His mouth moves, words forming but barely audible. The sentence does not finish. Touch his shoulder. The denim jacket is cold from the night air, but beneath it, his body temperature is elevated. He is feverish, warm to the touch despite the 22-degree air. Whatever happened aboard the craft has left his metabolism in disarray. He reaches toward the phone booth, 20 feet away, its light a beacon in the dark. He knows he needs to call someone. This is instinct. His right sleeve has ridden up from the fall to the asphalt. The inner forearm is exposed. The puncture marks are there. The same 2 marks you saw fresh aboard the craft. 5 days older now, slightly healed. The skin around them is faintly bruised, a yellowish discoloration, the tail end of a bruise that was darker days ago. These marks are the only physical evidence on his body of what happened inside, the only trace the beings left. Press the skin near the marks, firm, not tender. The healing is advanced. Whatever was done happened early in the 5 days. His right arm also shows a slight tan line, where his wristwatch sits, slightly displaced, as if someone removed it and replaced it. When his brother Dwayne finds him, these marks will be documented. They will become exhibits in the case that builds around this man. The gas station sits 20 feet from where Travis kneels. A small, rural station, 2 pumps, a flat-roofed building. Walk to it. The pumps are old, the analog type with spinning number dials, prices in the low 50 cents per gallon range. The building is closed. Metal shutters down. A padlock on the door. A Coca-Cola sign faded on the side wall. A security light on the corner casts a yellow cone over the pumps and the phone booth. Approach the phone booth, the only functioning thing here, its interior light on, the receiver hanging in its cradle, the aluminum frame gleaming. This gas station will become a landmark. It will appear in books, in the 1993 movie, in tourist guides. Right now, it is just a closed gas station on a highway in the middle of the night. Stand in the center of the highway and look both ways. Northeast, the road disappears into dark pines. Heber is a few miles in that direction. Southwest, more pines, more darkness. The road to Payson, to Pine, to the Mogollon Rim beyond. Turkey Springs, where Travis was taken, is approximately 30 miles from here. Through forest, up elevation changes, on roads that connect but barely. He has no car, no ride. Look up. He arrived on this highway from above. Above the road, the craft is mid-ascent, still visible, its amber light spread across the treetops and the asphalt below. This highway was chosen, or Travis was deposited at the first point where he could reach help. The phone booth, the gas station, the means of rescue. Stand still on the highway, feel the cold, 22 degrees Fahrenheit. The air burns in your nostrils. Your fingers ache within seconds. Travis has been in warm, humid, climate-controlled environments for 5 days. This cold is a shock. His denim jacket is inadequate, meant for a November evening's drive, not midnight exposure. Watch his body. He is shivering violently, the tremors visible in his shoulders and arms. The craft kept him alive, warm, oxygenated, fed or not. The weight loss suggests not. But it did not prepare him for the return. The cold of Earth, the dark of Earth, the rough asphalt of Earth. After 5 days in an alien architecture, the planet itself is hostile. Travis is on his hands and knees, angled toward the phone booth, 20 feet between him and the aluminum frame. His left hand is forward, palm flat on the asphalt, the right arm reaching, the posture of a man crawling. Walk to the phone booth ahead of him. The phone booth stands at the edge of the gas station lot. A glass and aluminum box, 3 feet square. Touch the aluminum frame. The metal is cold, 22 degrees, the surface frosted at the edges. But inside, the light bulb generates a tiny pocket of warmth. The glass panels are scratched, one cracked at the corner, taped. The aluminum frame is dented from someone leaning against it. A decal on the glass, the phone company logo. Below it, instructions for operator-assisted calls, the technology of 1975. Open the door. It swings on a spring hinge, the familiar resistance of a phone booth door. The air inside is warmer, 2 degrees, maybe 3. The floor of the booth is concrete, stained with tobacco spit and boot mud. A quarter lies in the corner. Pick up the receiver before Travis arrives. The black handset, standard Bell issue, the universal shape of a 1975 telephone. Hold it. Feel the weight. Cold plastic and aluminum. The dial tone hums, a continuous, mechanical sound. The sound of human infrastructure. The sound of connection. Place it back in the cradle. Travis will call from this booth. The call will reach Grant Neff, his brother-in-law. The time will be approximately 12:05 m. November 10th. He will say 3 words. They brought me back. The first words from Travis Walton in 5 days. Return to Travis. He is still on the asphalt, reaching toward the booth. His hand will find the aluminum frame. His fingers will close around the receiver. A quarter from his jeans pocket, the same quarters from 5 days ago, will drop into the slot. The mechanical click of the coin mechanism. His finger will find the rotary dial. He will dial from memory, the numbers automatic, muscle memory from a life before the beam. And someone will answer. And everything that follows, the doubt, the fame, the isolation, will be worse than the beam. Through the booth's glass panels, the craft hangs above the highway. Look up through the glass. 100 feet up, tilted 15 degrees from horizontal, angled northeast. The amber gold hull catches the starlight and its own luminescence. A disk of warm light held against the black November sky. A cone of light descends from it to the road, the circle of illumination around the gas station bright enough to light the treetops. Through the phone booth glass, the craft is framed like a photograph, aluminum edges bordering a disk of light in a sky of stars. Press your palm to the glass. The craft hangs where it was when Travis appeared. Its task is complete. Travis has been returned. The trees around the gas station are lit from above, crowns amber, trunks in shadow, the inverse of sunlight. Step out of the phone booth, face the sky. The craft hangs at 100 feet, tilted northeast, amber against the stars. It will climb. It will cross the constellation Orion, the hunter bisected by a point of amber light. It will rise above Orion, become a star among stars, and vanish. But not yet. In this frozen second, it is still here. The last moment anyone will see it. The air above you is held in its displacement, a warm layer dense with the faint, metallic sweetness, caught in the act of descending from the craft's underside. Hold still and feel the heat on your upturned face. Alien warmth in the freezing Arizona night. The ozone smell hangs in the air, the last chemical trace of the encounter. The November constellations surround the craft. Orion, Taurus, the Pleiades, familiar, earthly, the stars of home. The craft sits among them like a word in the wrong language. The subsonic hum is present in your chest. The same hum from the clearing, from the examination room, from the corridor. It has followed you through every scene. When this moment unfreezes and the craft climbs away, the hum will go with it. Listen to it one last time. The sound of an alien architecture held in the air above a gas station in Arizona. Below the hum, if you strain, the natural quiet of midnight in rural Arizona, waiting to return. The ponderosa crowns are still. The wind will pick up when the craft leaves. The birds will return by morning. The ordinary world is ready to reassert itself. Turn back to the road. The craft's amber light competes with the gas station security light and the phone booth fluorescent. 3 sources painting the highway in overlapping pools of color. Step back from the booth. From 20 feet, Travis is a figure on his hands and knees between the yellow center line and the phone booth's glow. From this distance, you cannot see the 5-day beard, the weight loss, the bloodshot eyes, the trembling hands, the fever, the puncture marks. He could be anyone on a dark road. But the craft above him, amber, silent, impossible, tells you he is not anyone. The phone booth light is the warmest thing in this scene, a small, human, electrical warmth in the vast dark. Step back further. The gas station, the phone booth, the highway, the pines, the craft. A tableau of American rural life interrupted by something that has no name. 1975. In minutes, Travis will reach that booth. A voice will answer. Travis will say 3 words. Return to where Travis knelt. The center of the highway. Examine the asphalt. No scorch marks. No heat damage, no compression in the pavement, no radiation burns on the lane markings. The craft hovered 100 feet above this spot and left nothing. No physical trace on the road surface. Look at the yellow center line. Unmelted, undamaged. The paint is the same temperature as the rest of the road. The gas station lot. No marks, no debris, no fallen objects. The phone booth. Undamaged. The closest pine crowns, no heat stress, no needle drop, no scorching. The craft departed through the canopy gap and touched nothing. The only evidence that it was here is a man on his knees and the lingering smell of ozone, already fading. On the road shoulder, near the phone booth, boot prints in the gravel. Crouch and study them. Logging boots, the same tread pattern as the footprints in the clearing at Turkey Springs, 30 miles away. The prints begin in the center of the road, where Travis was deposited, and led in a wavering line toward the phone booth. The stride is short, unsteady, the gait of a man barely able to walk. Some prints are deeper on one side, as if he stumbled. Follow the prints backward to where they begin. They start in the road's center with no approach. There are no prints leading to the spot where Travis knelt. He did not walk here. He did not drive here. He arrived from above. The prints are the only physical evidence of his return the road will preserve. By morning, traffic will erase them. Return to Travis on the road. Kneel beside him. Look at his clothing. The denim jacket, the same one. 5 days old, but not 5 days worn. No additional dirt, no new tears, no weather damage. The flannel shirt, the same red and black check. His jeans, sawdust still in the cuffs, the same sawdust from November 5th, untouched. The clothes are wrong. They should be dirtier, more worn, more degraded. They look like they were preserved. Lean close and inhale. The metallic sweetness is there. The craft's atmosphere, embedded in the cotton and denim fibers. The clothes spent 5 days inside, and they carry the scent. Forensic analysis will never be done on this clothing. No one will think to test for unusual compounds in the fabric. Open the phone booth door and examine the interior. The glass panels are clean. No fingerprints yet. In minutes, Travis's 5-day unwashed hands will leave oily prints on every surface. His breath will fog the glass near his face. The receiver he grips will warm in his hand. The coin slot will hold trace evidence. Skin cells, oils from his fingers. None of it will be collected. On the concrete floor, drops of water will fall from his eyes, watering from the cold, from the light sensitivity from something inside. Press your palm to the glass. The booth is still cool and empty. It is waiting for him. When the moment unfreezes, Grant Neff's phone will ring in Snowflake. A confused, sleep-heavy voice will answer. Travis's voice will be barely recognizable. Hoarse, broken, the words running together. "This is Travis. I'm at the Heber gas station. They brought me back." 3 sentences, the first human communication from Travis Walton in 5 days and 6 hours. And listen for what he will not say. He will not say who they are. He will not say where he was. He will not say what happened. He will say they and the word will contain everything and nothing. Step back from the phone booth. Look at the whole scene. A gas station, a phone booth, a highway, a man making a call. The craft gone, the sky empty. In approximately 40 minutes, Dwayne Walton and Grant Neff will drive from Snowflake to Heber. They will find Travis collapsed in this booth. In hours, the Navajo County Sheriff's Department will be notified. The 5-day search will end. The investigation will begin. In days, polygraph tests, APRO investigators, newspaper reporters. The National Enquirer will offer money. In years, a book, 1978, a movie, 1993, Philip Klass's debunking attempts, lectures, conventions, the label. Travis Walton kneels in a phone booth and doesn't know that the beam was the easy part. What comes after the beam, the doubt, the fame, the isolation, will last the rest of his life. While Travis was aboard the craft, the world below was searching. 5 days. Search parties with dogs, helicopter sweeps, the sheriff considering murder, the 6 crew members sitting for polygraph examinations answering the question, "Did you cause Travis Walton bodily harm?" All 6 passed. And then, this night, this call. The murder theory collapses, replaced by something the sheriff has no procedure for. Stand on this highway and know. While Travis lay on a table in an alien medical facility, Mike Rogers was being investigated for killing him. Rogers is not here tonight. He is in Snowflake, asleep, or not asleep, because Mike Rogers has not slept properly in 5 days. The man who turned the ignition key. The man who drove away from his best friend in a beam of light. Rogers reported to the sheriff. Rogers led the search parties. Rogers took the polygraph. Rogers did everything a man could do after making the worst decision of his life. In this frozen moment, Rogers does not know Travis is back. The phone call reaches Grant Neff, not Mike Rogers. Rogers will learn within hours. He will drive to the motel where Travis is taken. He will see his friend, lighter, terrified, changed. Their friendship will survive for decades, through the book, the movie, the skeptics, the conventions. Look at the road Rogers will drive in an hour. The truth will recede into the space between 2 men who shared one impossible night. Walk around the gas station. Try the pump handle. The cold metal mechanism locks under your grip, closed for the night. Gas prices hand-posted on the marquee. 57 cents a gallon. The price of the world Travis left. A newspaper box sits by the pumps. Kneel and press your face to the glass. A front page, the date, November 10th. 5 days of headlines that did not include Travis Walton. Open the box. The paper is cold, the ink smudged from condensation. Fold it back and set it down. Touch the rough concrete wall of the station. After 5 days of featureless grey walls, of materials that yield to the touch, of surfaces with no seams and rooms with no corners, This gas station is an assault of edges and textures. Every surface has a label. Every object has a purpose you can name. This is Earth. Look up one last time. The stars of the Northern Hemisphere. Orion, Taurus, Cassiopeia, the Pleiades, familiar configurations. The sky you know. These are not the stars in the chair room. These are not the alien configurations with dark curving lines and converging hubs. These are the stars of Earth. The stars that 7 men saw through the windshield of a truck 5 nights ago, before a glow in the forest changed everything. The Milky Way runs north to south, a faint, familiar band, the galaxy seen from inside, home. And there, below the familiar constellations, the craft. Amber, 100 feet up, still here in this frozen second, though it will not be for long. It will not come back. Not here. Not for Travis. The encounter is almost over. The investigation, the human investigation, the decades of questions, is about to begin. Lower your eyes from the stars to the man on the road. Travis Walton emerged from the phone booth and entered a different kind of captivity. The investigation that followed confirmed what the 6 witnesses had said. All passed polygraph examinations. Travis published his account in 1978. The physical evidence was thin. Puncture marks, weight loss, 5 days of missing time, no physical trace on the road, no radiation, no artifact. The case resisted both proof and disproof for 46 years. In 2021, Mike Rogers, the man who turned the ignition key, who drove away from his best friend in a beam of light, who spent 5 days being investigated for murder, posted on social media renouncing his witness testimony. He called it a hoax. The friendship ended. Travis denied the recantation. The question that this phone booth call opened in 1975 remained open. They brought me back. Who brought him back? From where? The question would not close. The phone booth light dims, the highway darkens. A taste, ozone, faint, returning. Your inner ear tilts. The cold recedes. The asphalt softens beneath your knees and becomes pine needles. The clearing, the beam. Travis 2 feet off the ground, arms flung outward. Hard hat mid-fall behind him, the craft above. The truck 30 yards east, the amber glow, the blue-green column. Exactly as you found it. Exactly as it was. The beam holds Travis in its column. His fingers are splayed. His mouth is open. His hard hat tumbles. The craft hangs above the clearing 20 feet up, amber and silent, as if it has been here since before the pines. This is not a disaster. It is not a crime. It is not a battle or a shipwreck or a fire. It is a contact, a moment where the ordinary world met something it could not absorb. 7 men in a forest in Arizona. 1 walked towards the light. 6 drove away. The light took him. 5 days later, it brought him back. No one can tell you what happened in between. Not the skeptics, not the believers, not the 6 men who passed the polygraph, not Travis himself. 5 days of silence, and a phone call at midnight, and a question that will not close. Travis Walton hangs in the beam. His eyes are open, but not seeing. His heart beats. His fingertips are blue. The pine needles hang around his legs in a frozen scatter, suspended at the angles they held when the beam struck. The beam holds him, and the forest is silent, and the 6 men in the truck are about to drive away. Mike Rogers dissolves first. His hand on the ignition key fades. The tendons in his neck soften to nothing. The decision on his face, to leave, to abandon, to survive, dissolves into the dark of the truck cab. Ken Peterson goes next. The rigid composure, the locked eyes, the white knuckles, gone. Alan Dallas, mid-lunge, mouth open, the scream that never landed. He fades. Steve Pierce, 17 years old, fingers spread over his eyes, the Snowflake High School keychain, gone. Goulet and Smith, pressed against their respective doors, dissolve together. The truck remains for a moment, an empty cab with its engine idling and its headlights on. And then it too is gone. The beings dissolve. The one stumbling from Travis's blow, the clinical eyes, the extra-jointed fingers, the mineral smell, gone. The one at the foot of the table, reaching, gone. The one in the corridor, mid-stride, heading deeper into the craft, gone. The human figures dissolve. The golden hazel eyes, the impossible skin, the smiles that offered nothing. The woman with the mask itself, gone. The craft dissolves, the amber glow dims, the seamless hull fades, the star display goes dark, point by point, the alien constellations winking out. The hangar, the ramp, the chair, the table, the corridor walls, the material that was neither metal nor plastic, all of it gone. Travis dissolves last. The denim jacket, the flannel shirt, the logging boots with volcanic soil in the treads, the wallet with the Arizona driver's license, the puncture marks, the face, 22 years old, hazel eyes, surprise that has not yet become terror. He fades. The beam has nothing left to hold. The beam itself dissolves. Blue-green light thinning to nothing. The pine needles remain for one more breath. The cold air, the volcanic soil, the Mogollon rim against a darkening sky. Then the forest goes. The clearing becomes your ceiling. The pine needles pressing against your cheek soften, flatten, recover their weave. Cotton pillowcase, familiar, warm. The volcanic soil under your palms becomes the mattress. The 37-degree air warms, degree by degree, until it is the temperature of your bedroom. The stars above the ponderosa canopy blur, condense, and become the darkness behind your eyelids. The hum is gone. The silence is yours. The ordinary world, rough, cold, legible, full of surfaces that have names, has returned. Rest now, sleep. The beam hangs in its frozen moment above a clearing in Arizona. Travis Walton hangs inside it, arms flung wide between 1 second and the next, between the forest floor and whatever is above. Time has stopped. The vault closes its door. The moment returns to stillness. Sleep.